We here and we finna be out there. We out here. Oh yes. We finna be swinging into the water, fishing. Yay. Rabbit Lake. Yo. Oh yeah, I worked so hard. I get the chance to really enjoy some of this. I'm the first one here. The rest of the crew is on their way.
At an apartment just west of Lake Harriet in the usually quiet Linden Hills neighborhood, Minneapolis police say a domestic-related incident happened last night, leaving a 43-year-old woman dead, her live-in partner on the run.
Family says Moore was their role model. They say she leaves behind a family business she ran herself, and more importantly, 2 kids and a grandson.
In Minnesota, intimate partner unaliving is rising at an alarming rate. The number of people losing their lives in that manner is almost passing a record high of 37 people that occurred 10 years ago in Minneapolis. According to reports, these circumstances are becoming more severe and way too common. However, this problem is not just there, but nationwide. People rather unalive their partner instead of walking away, and it is a very scary statistic. A Minneapolis woman, just 43 years young, will have a disagreement with her live-in boyfriend about cheating allegations that led to lies, betrayal, and her losing her life, leaving her documented as the 34th case this year. 43-year-old Keisha Moore would be described as one of the most genuine souls you would ever meet and a person you could count on to give a positive message. She loved her life, her kids, and her one and only grandbaby. Keisha was said to be the glue to her entire family, with whom she ran a family business with called Resilient Lives. The company started in 2019 in Minneapolis, Minnesota, to provide person-centered support services to adults with disabilities, according to their website. Keisha also had her own limited liability company called Solar International Auto and obtained the dealer's license to do so. She was definitely a go-getter, and according to her life, she lived, slept, ate, and breathed resilience. Her family said she was truly their rock and role model, especially for her 2 boys, who are now men in their 20s. In February 2022, Keisha would state on Facebook that she was looking for her grandbaby, a step-papa, and grandma needed a husband. Not too far ahead in the future, she would end up in a relationship with 50-year-old Johnny Brown, and by all accounts, their relationship seemed to be going good, allegedly. He would show support for Keisha's business and essentially became a part of the extended family at the time. The couple would spend their time enjoying family, holidays, and trips. Sadly, all the good things came to a screeching halt on the night of December 17th at about 8:20 p.m. in an apartment in the Linden Hills district in Minneapolis, which is situated to the west of Lake Harriet. A domestic disagreement would take place in one of the units. According to the official criminal complaint, Johnny Brown will call 911 that Sunday night and say that he and his girlfriend Keisha had gotten into a fight during an altercation, and Keisha allegedly had her weapon and amidst the chaos, it went off and hit Keisha. Johnny then told the dispatcher that he thought she was unalive and provided the street address before hanging up. He would then call back, strangely, 20 minutes later to retell the events that happened and said that he was ready to turn himself in. However, that was not the case, and Johnny would end up leaving the apartment, leaving his girlfriend while she was in a tragic state. Now, I do want to know why it took 20 whole minutes for the police to arrive, especially on a shot fire call with someone injured. Way too long for me personally. When the authorities did finally get there, they had to force entry because the door was locked. This is when they found Keisha Moore tragically unalive from the gunshot wound that hit her in the head. Investigators on the scene will find a single 9mm casing. Police did a gun check and it showed that she was a registered owner of a Luger ECS-9, which is a 9mm weapon, but officials could not find it anywhere in the home. While investigators were at the scene, a family member arrived at the apartment and told police that Johnny had called them to say he had effed up and unalived their cousin and he was turning himself in. But remember, Johnny was not at the scene because he decided to flee. Documents alleged he turned off his phone and never turned it back on. So the night would pass And now it would be Monday, December 18th, and still no Johnny. He was on the run. It would be determined by investigators later that Monday that Johnny had gotten a new number, and they were able to find out, and they traced it. He was arrested later that day during a traffic stop. This is the crazy part. The records state that when Johnny was arrested, he was with his new girlfriend. This must be the same female that he and Kisha were going back and forth over because she believed he was cheating. A family member also reported that Kisha and Johnny were living together for the past several months, and their romantic relationship had been rocky, which resulted in Kisha asking him to move out of the apartment. For the life of me, it just is the craziest thing that you don't move forward and just be with the other person, especially if you end up unaliving the person that you're currently with. Why not just move on? If she wanted you out, you should have just left. You weren't going to be there anyway with what you did to her allegedly, so it doesn't make sense. Then this other woman, I feel, had to know something, because you just can't go back to acting normal after you do something that wrong. That's my personal opinion, though. Johnny would go on after he was arrested to tell detectives in an interview that on Sunday night, he and Kisha had gotten into an argument over concerns he was cheating. He then said he left the room to get a drink, and when he came back, allegedly, Kisha had the weapon pointed at him, according to the documents. Johnny then said he was able to get the gun out of her hands and, get this, accidentally bumped the trigger, which resulted in one round going off, allegedly. However, according to experts, this particular gun requires a trigger pull of at least 5 pounds. Then, subsequently, his memory became foggy because he had too much to drink that night, he said. Really? It gets worse, though, because this was not the first time Johnny Brown had done almost the same thing years earlier. See, in 2007, Johnny would already be a felon at the time and illegally possessed a firearm, which he shot off in the air during a disagreement with a former girlfriend. He ended up serving nearly 10 years in prison for that incident. From the looks of it, that 10 years did not change his ways at all if he did purposefully pull the trigger on Kisha. Another horrible tragedy that did not have to happen. Johnny initially was not charged for the unaliving of Kisha, but it was updated, and now he is being charged with second-degree unaliving and 1 count of possession of ammunition. Good thing he was caught, because no telling what he may have done to the other woman as well. Just a senseless tragedy that left a hole in her family. One of Kisha's sons will post a heartfelt message about his mother, and I'll read a portion saying, "What me and my mom and brother have been through together is indescribable. She had superpowers, the power to quiet us, focus us, strengthen us, and grow us. She did her job to a T. I told my mama so many times, like, Ma, you're the glue. She keeps us together and held us tight. She'd smile and be like, well, thank you for giving me my flowers, son. I still feel like I didn't give you enough flowers. She called me her twin because I promised I'd do or say something that reminded her of herself when she was younger, and she laughed and say, boy, you just like your mama, ain't you? I'm a mama's boy. I'm her youngest, one would say, the baby. And boy, did I act like it. When he said, you quiet us, you focused us, it really hit different, because it just lets you know she was definitely a peacemaker, a sweet mother, and a loving person. My heart goes all the way out to her kids and family and friends alike. These cases are deeply concerning and tragic. Intimate partner violence is a serious issue that affects far too many individuals and families. When you take someone else's life, you are really hurting and affecting the loved ones. They are the ones still breathing and can feel the pain. That person's life you took, soul has moved on, where there is no hurt and pain. It is just a terrible, terrible cycle of madness, really. Each loss that's due to intimate partner homicide is a heartbreaking reminder of the urgent need to leave a terrible situation. You have to watch who you give your heart to, because even with support, resources, and awareness to prevent such incidents, when a person is determined to do such an act, they're going to do it if they have access to you. Do your best to not even entertain the red flags in the very beginning, and even do a background check if you have to. It could possibly save your life. My condolences to Kisha's family, and please don't forget to let me know how you feel. Do you think this was an accident and he was too drunk to remember? Let me know your thoughts, and please don't forget to comment your prayers as well for this family, because it's a difficult time. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and share, and keep your people aware. And as always, remember, stay woke. Things change quickly.